Hey, what is going on, guys? And welcome to what's hopefully going to be a happy episode, because if not, Gary's gonna die. Today, the Artist of War legendary event finally dropped. I was able to unveil Grand Admiral Thrawn at EA Play a few days ago, and in case you didn't hear, for the longest time, Empire characters have been my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, but in specific, Grand Admiral Thrawn is my favorite Star Wars character, even way before he was in the Star Wars Rebels series, and I'm just hopefully going to unlock him today. Let's take a look at my Phoenix roster real quick. Now, there's been a lot of controversy regarding the Phoenix characters being used for this particular event, and I am going to talk a little bit about it in this video. I haven't had time to make a video because when all this dropped, I had to go to California for my trip and didn't have time to make a video. But long story short, right now, I have the 5-star characters needed for this event. I have Hera, Ezra, Kanan, Chopper, and Zeb. Don't have Sabine. I would really love to have Sabine at 5 stars. Won't have her today. And all these characters, they're just at Gear 7. I did not want to invest in them too heavily because 1, I'm not too excited about them. And 2, my goal is to save the gear because a lot of these guys are difficult to gear and I don't want to go all in on them just yet. The goal is to unlock my 5-star Admiral Thrawn because he will be more than enough for Arena. Then we'll take that 5-star Admiral Thrawn, gear him up all the way, and once Grand Admiral Thrawn's at Gear 11, I'll go back, gear up the Phoenix characters so they're ready for the next time the legendary event comes around. We'll talk more about that soon. So let's get into battle. Hopefully, we can unlock my favorite character, because if not, it's going to be a very sad episode. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going into the first battle, and hopefully it's enough to go by. All right, yeah, it looks like we should be able to fly through this fast. I have to say, I do not know the Phoenix character's kit too well, and I really don't want to know it right now. It's kind of like you buy an item, you really don't know how to use it, but you don't feel like reading the manual, so you just kind of go with the flow, and hopefully you can figure out how to use the item. But here we go, final encounter. Oh, dude, this is, oh man, I'm getting shivers in my spine. Oh man, that was pretty awesome. I gotta say, that was pretty awesome. Kind of gives you the shivers of going up against Grand Admiral Thrawn for the first time. I have studied your tactics, and now you'll be the instrument of your own demise. Grand Admiral Thrawn is really awesome, guys. All right, so let's try to, I just want to make sure. Oh, looks like, yeah, we're gonna beat this first tier with absolute ease. So we might actually auto the first couple tiers and see how it goes. All right, we got him out, and then we defeated the Grand Admiral Thrawn himself. So the first tier was not that bad for Gear 7 characters, fortunately. So first event is all done, but we got to get on to tier 2 and get some more shards of this bad boy. So battle number 2 should also be easy for Gear 7 characters at level 70 and 80. This is tuned to level 30, so we should be able to fly through it fairly easily. So let's see. All right, we're gonna get him out. So we're gonna talk in a second once we have some more viable enemies to go up against, because we're probably gonna fly through this tier as well. But I know for a fact that this event has been very controversial, requiring characters that were pay to play for a long time, and the day they finally become free to play, a week later, this legendary event came and you need these characters. So I know, very controversial. We'll talk about it more in a few seconds here. Yeah, we're probably gonna fly through this too, because with Hera leading, she's gonna give a lot of counter chance. So there's Fracture, so Zeb is pretty much out of the battle. I got to test Grand Admiral Thrawn quite a lot after that first video, and I know his kit very well at this point, and Fracture is something you really want to place very well. Someone on perhaps Baze, Chirrut, or Darth Nihilus, or even some other great characters out there. And it could be a very deadly debuff. It's a Shock 2.0 essentially. It's like Daze and Shock put together, and it's a very powerful debuff to use in your favor, and it can't go away, which is great. So cleansers can't do nada against that particular debuff. 25 more shards. Let's get on to tier 3 and see how that guy is. All right. Tier 3 should also be a breeze. It's geared towards level 40, and they still don't have any sort of protection, so we should be all right. We might be able to auto this bad boy, and I notice we now have 3 tiers, so that gives me enough time to talk about this whole thing right now. So initially, when the update came out and they said, hey, you're going to need Phoenix characters, I was pretty furious. It's kind of like this: you have some sort of poison, and the only way to cure your poison is to drink more poison. It felt sort of counterintuitive in terms of a logical perspective, but it does make sense in terms of the whole storyline. Phoenix characters trying to take down Grand Admiral Thrawn. It fits the whole Rebels cartoon series, shenanigans. However, even with that in mind, it seemed like very short-term notice, because the Rebels characters, at least the Phoenix characters, Rebels in general, are very good, but the Phoenix faction overall is a very weak sub-faction of the whole Rebels faction we have in the game. And the only two characters that are pretty much good out of here are Sabine and Ezra. Fortunately, Ezra is very easily farmable, but Sabine is much more difficult to farm, takes a lot longer, and not many people are going to have her for this event like me. I have her for the first 4 tiers, but not for the 5th tier, which is the most important because that's when you unlock him. And Grand Admiral Thrawn, he even reminds us that war is art. One I will perfect. And this looks like a little beefier now. We got some protection on the enemy, but we still should be able to fly through this. Luckily, I think Zeb is going to be really helpful for us because of the fact he applies daze and stun. We should actually, yeah, it looks like we're gonna be able to fly through this as well. If Phoenix characters were free to play when they first were released, I don't think we'd have any problem. The fact that they were pay to play for quite a while, and then all of a sudden the day they become free to play, we're told that less than a week or whatever it was, that Grand Admiral Thrawn's coming out, and Grand Admiral Thrawn's a big deal. But there's some pluses to this whole thing, I suppose, that I kind of told myself to convince myself to farm and gear up these characters, and we'll talk about that during the next tier we got here, which should be tier 4. So the things that I told myself to try to convince me to farm and gear up these characters. Reason number 1, Grand Admiral Thrawn is my favorite character, and I can't let this opportunity slip. Reason number 2, I have almost every Empire character to gear 11, except probably 3 of them. I'll show you guys later on. So I felt kind of obligated to go and unlock Grand Admiral Thrawn and farm these characters because I've been waiting for an opportunity like this where some amazing Empire character comes into the game and really shakes things up, and Grand Admiral Thrawn seems to be that guy. But the other thing is, Rebels as a whole, you and I know, as much as we might hate Rebels or love Rebels, we all know that a grand majority of these Rebels are very good, and they're probably going to release many more new Rebels in the future. That's how the game is. That's how Star Wars is. There's a lot of Rebels to go through, so who knows? There might be someone that comes out that will make these Phoenix characters great, and you'll be happy that you geared up these Phoenix characters down the road. So these are just reasons I'm telling myself. But the one big one that I did come to love, although initially, as I said, I did not like the fact I had to gear up these characters because these guys are just, I hate them. I hate the Phoenix characters with a burning passion. But if you guys are with me who've been playing this game for a while, we haven't had much that kind of makes you feel like you're grinding for something. Like the R2-D2 event, it came out, I got them the same day, and it was like, meh. Not too much going on there. Let's read this real quick. Boarding the Chimera was only the most recent mistake in a long series of mistakes. You will not defeat me. Grand Admiral Thrawn, he is so confident in his abilities, and the fact that he can learn the ways of his enemies, take their own way of fighting, their own philosophy of fighting, and using it against them is just something I found so admirable in Grand Admiral Thrawn. And if you know his story, the Empire was really against aliens pretty much. They're kind of xenophobic where they didn't really like other people outside of their own. And to see Grand Admiral Thrawn do whatever he can to rise through the Imperial Army really says a lot about his character. He faced so much political opposition within the Empire itself, and he managed to overcome it and just become one of the most powerful people. He's got an amazing story, and the fact that he's like almost spot on all the time with his strategy is something I just absolutely love about him. And it seemed like on paper he's really going to end a lot of things, but we'll talk more about it soon. Mainly the AI for him on defense is quite bad, so that's one of the main things I'm kind of upset about. But many characters have a bad AI, so I don't hold it specifically against him. The AI needs a rework in general across the board here. So we're done with the 4th tier, baby. Bada bing, bada boom. We got to go to tier number 5. So hopefully we got some good news because Gary is going to die if we don't get past it. And the 5th tier, the final countdown, is here. So that doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad for Gear 7 characters, so that's good. All right, so we got Chopper taunting. He's a pretty bad character. I had you guys go and rank all these characters, and yeah, all you guys, I got about, like, it was a good couple hundred votes, like maybe 600 or 800 votes. So you guys ranked all these characters on the Hall of Fame for me, and Chopper for you guys landed in the Padawan category. And a lot of these guys didn't really go that far. Ezra and Sabine made it to the Grandmaster, but overall, they're not that good overall here. But going back to my earlier conversation I had about this whole event, one thing that I've been saying is that there hasn't been much of a grinding aspect in this game. I've been playing the game for a long time, which puts me at a situation similar to those who spend a lot of money in the game. You eventually catch up. If you've been playing for a long time, if you don't get Darth Nihilus now, you'll get him down the road, so on and so forth. And even with these marquee events, there haven't been many events where you have to kind of build up towards something. So one thing I came to love about this whole thing is that you kind of get that excitement of working towards a character. And the one thing that we kind of forgot is that we don't need everything on day one in this game. I know we've been playing the game for a long time, and a lot of times we just want the character 7 stars max gear on day one. And part of this game is to grind and build up towards something, which I came to appreciate again for this event. But even with that said, I don't like the move that they pulled here because of the fact of this particular faction. It's not like we had a long time to farm these characters, which would have been completely understandable, and no one should be able to complain at that point. It's just the fact that they pulled it under our noses and did it last second. It's what's triggering people, and it's something I completely understand, and I understood it on day one. Now it's like, whatever, I'm gonna get him to 5 stars, hopefully, so all is well, because that's all I really need him for, is to unlock him and put him in arena. The 7 stars is mainly for a little bit more damage, a little bit more health, and for the raids, which I can live without for a couple more months or a couple more weeks, however long it's gonna take for him to finally come out once more in the legendary event. But for my personal experience, on day one, once they announced that these characters were going to be needed, and fortunately they're all free to play. I mean, Sabine's a bit more difficult, so they're very easy to obtain. You got the Arena, Galactic War. So if you were farming on day one like I was, going through the canteen and all that when the double drops is happening, all this time plus the 6 extra days this event is going on, it should be enough to unlock the character. Yeah, you're probably not going to get him to 7 stars for sure. I'm not probably even going to get the 6 stars, but 5 stars should be very viable for most people in this game. You will have to put some things off, but you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? For me personally, for the reasons I gave before, it is worth it. As many of you hopefully understand, I just used about 200 crystal refreshes every day for the cantina to get Ezra and Hera up to 5 stars. And but that's all I really care about, is just to unlock this character. I can wait for the next time this event comes around, because as I've been hearing, is this event is not just about being able to get the 7-star characters. Before, with Emperor Palpatine, R2-D2, Yoda, you can get away with 7-star characters being very weak. However, but in this event, however, I've been hearing that tier 7 requires a lot of beefy characters. For instance, you most likely will need to have Gear 11 Phoenix characters, which I am not really looking all that forward to. It looks like we're gonna beat this, guys. I'm actually really excited. And I didn't give him any of the good gear. I gave him all the basic stuff that they needed. I didn't want to go beyond that because Zeb needs like a Carbanti, and I'm saving all my Carbantis for Grand Admiral Thrawn. But long story short, if you have been farming these characters since they became free to play last week, like me, you go into the shipments every day, get your stuff. For most people, 5 stars should be attainable. It's all about a patience game, and I think we got it, baby. We get to spare Gary and his life today, so that's good to hear. Oh, we're finally gonna unlock Grand Admiral Thrawn, baby. Woo! Just look at my Empire roster. This is the one faction where I almost perfected to Gear 11. The exceptions being Royal Guard at Gear 10, Magma Trooper at Gear 10, and then Gar Saxon at Gear 9, Imperial Super Commandos at like Gear 7. I'm probably not gonna gear up those last 2 characters, but overall, this is why I need to get Grand Admiral Thrawn. I have all these characters I've been sitting on, like characters like Stormtrooper have been sitting at a high gear level since last year of March of 2016 or whatever. So this is a character I needed to get. But guys, it's time. Let's go ahead, unlock this character, and let's see how far we can get this bad boy up. Here we go. See you on the other side. Five-star Grand Admiral Thrawn, baby! I cannot explain how exciting this is. I know a lot of you guys felt my excitement in the last video. A lot of people said, I knew you were gonna have a great smile on your face, and I do indeed. This is a very exciting moment for me. But let's upgrade this character, see how far we can go, and then we'll talk before we take off here. So stick around for a few more moments. So it looks like a measly Mark V droid caller stopped me in my track. Apparently I'm very short on those, so we're stuck at, what is that? Gear 8, so I won't have him the Gear 11 anytime soon, today, tomorrow, or probably this weekend. But fortunately, I do have footage of Grand Admiral Thrawn during my trip to Hollywood, California, so I will have an in-depth review. I had loads of time trying out this character, so I know him like the back of my hand. And if you did notice, I have almost 40 Zetas saved up, and I'll be using both of them for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Once he's at the right gear level, I'll give him to him. I'm holding off right now, but that's something I am really looking forward to. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, leave me a like, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are about this whole event. I'm kind of on defense. I understand why they did it, but at the same time, it is a very bad decision in my opinion. And also subscribe so you're not missing a thing. Grand Admiral Thrawn in-depth review coming out this weekend. So we'll talk again very soon. Peace out!